Here's a chicken and egg question. Is Leonardo da Vinci's notebooks, are they worth that much because Leonardo da Vinci wrote them? Or did Leonardo da Vinci become who he is because he took notes? What's up? David here, and today I want to talk to you about reading, about learning, and especially taking notes, okay? So I want to talk about taking notes and why this is so crucial and why this is clutch in your learning. So studies have shown that when you take notes, even if you never refer and go back to the notes ever again, your learning, your memory retention rate will have increased by 50 to 70% just by the fact that you took notes, right? So when you're learning something and you take notes on it, even if you never look at it again, if you never, if you toss it out somewhere, even if you do that, your memory retention rate automatically raises by 50 to 70%. Okay, so that is one crucial reason why you should take notes. And you should take notes on everything. I take notes on everything, especially when you're reading and learning something. So I'll give you another example of like books. Why should we take notes when we're reading books? Okay, this can also come in clutch later on because when you're reading a book, right, there's going to be some sections where it might be really relevant to your life or where you think you might find a lot of use for it, like future, like later on in the future, right? And so when you take notes, like you are pretty much creating a shortcut for yourself, because instead of having to reference and go back to that book and then read that entire book all over again, when you take notes and when you take like summaries of these books, then you are pretty much creating like a shortcut. Like you don't have to read the entire book to, draw out that information from the book. You can just refer to the notes that you have. So it creates like an information shortcut. That's what notes pretty much are doing. And by the way, if you create like your own summary of the book, then what you are doing is you are also learning more deeply. You're learning more deeply when you are taking that information that you learned and going at it with the perspective of teaching other people. Because here's the thing, I learn most, and this is not just me, but for like everybody else, but people will learn most when they go at something, when they learn something from the perspective of teaching it. So for example, if I'm reading a book just to read a book and just to read, or maybe just to learn too, then I'm not gonna learn it as much. But if I read the same book with the mindset that I'm going to teach this to somebody else, then that information gets absorbed so much more deeper. It's not even funny. It's like a night and day comparison. Like how much deeper I learn a subject just because I go at it with the mindset of teaching. Okay, so that's why, again, taking notes can come in clutch because it helps you to teach that same information to other people. Thus, it creates like a win-win situation, doesn't it? Because like these videos here, not only am I adding value to your life because I'm trying to teach you something, but it also helps me to learn deeper about this exact concept that I'm talking to you about. All right, so that's why taking notes is absolutely crucial for learning. And reading, let's talk a little bit about reading. And most people, how they see reading is like I'll give you an example of like a typical person. A typical person will have graduated college, and then that will have been like the end of their education after they graduate college. But for me, the way I look at it is after college was actually the beginning of my education. Because actually college kind of stifled me down. College kind of confined me into learning only about the things that was in the curriculum, right? And so I didn't really have time to learn about anything else because there was a certain curriculum that I had to take. But then after college, I had all these free time to learn about anything I wanted. Not just what the college forced me to learn, but now I could learn about anything. I could read about anything. And by the way, like college textbooks, this might be another video, I guess, but those things are so expensive. And honestly, it's like not a lot of these things are like not practical. Anyways, that's another tangent, another video for another day. But like some people, they just don't understand that you can gain so much information, so much knowledge from even just a single book. Like a single book can, potentially change your entire life. And so I'll give you examples of like a biography. When somebody is writing a biography or an autobiography, usually these people are much older, right? They are pretty much maybe like 80, 90 years old. They might not have much time left on earth. And so they're going to write a biography, and then what they're trying to do is they're trying to pass down all that information, right? Because if this person is very successful, if this person is a billionaire and he has created, tons of wealth and many different businesses, and he's not going to be around for too much longer, well, there's no reason why he wouldn't reveal all of his secrets. Like, he can't take all that information with him. He can't take all that money with him. And so it's like, why wouldn't he not reveal all of his secrets? So like people who write these autobiographies, they're going to reveal all their secrets, They're just going to pour out their hearts and like pour out all their secrets to them because they're no longer going to be here. So people just don't get the idea that, like all this gold mine of information and knowledge can be contained within a $12 book, because it's very psychological, isn't it? Like if you're paying something like $12 is very cheap, and it's very psychological because like if somebody pays $12 for something, they're not going to value it as much, But then if somebody charges that same book for $1,000, for example, they're going to value that a lot more. So it's very psychological, and it's a concept called investment. Maybe I can talk about it in another video. But okay, so let's go back to book and reading, right? So a lot of great information can be contained within a $12 book. Okay, so you want to be reading, constantly reading books, constantly be learning, and constantly be taking notes on reading the books, because that will help you absorb that information way, way more deeply than just simply reading a book without taking any notes on it at all. And I will give you like a little perspective here. So Leonardo Da Vinci? Well, Leonardo Da Vinci's, his notebooks, his notepads, they are worth, I don't know the exact amount, but they are probably worth, the dozens of millions of dollars, right? So here's the question though. Here's the chicken and egg question. Is Leonardo Da Vinci's notebooks, are they worth that much because Leonardo Da Vinci wrote them? Or did Leonardo Da Vinci become who he is because he took notes? Because he put all of his ideas into writing? The big chicken and egg question, right? Wrap your head around that one. But I do believe that Leonardo Da Vinci became who he is because he took a lot of notes. All right, and then not only Leonardo, but so many other people, so many other geniuses and successful people. If you study history, like they all took notes in one format or another. Benjamin Franklin, Albert Einstein, there's so many other people that all took great notes. And I would argue that the notes created the genius within them. Okay, so we can all learn from these amazing people, from these wise people, and we can also take notes ourselves. Okay, and it doesn't have to be like on a notebook or anything. We live in the digital world, so you can also take notes on your iPhone or your iPad, your Evernotes, and any other platform, right? So just as long as you're getting down the ideas and that knowledge somewhere. All right, so take notes. It'll absolutely help. Absolutely. Comes in clutch so many times in my life. All right, so that's it for this video. I hope you found value out of this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.